Are you looking for a way to exercise while sitting at your desk or maybe even sitting on the couch watching TV? Well, maybe this video is for you. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. In this video, we are looking at the ANCHEER Under the Desk elliptical. It is super sweet. As per this video, it retails for right around $160 and it does come in a variety of colors. You know what though? Enough talk. Let's get right into this review. The unit is unboxed and it's really 100% pre-set up and installed. There is no assembly except for putting in the batteries into the remote control, which they did not include. That was the only thing I had to put together. Otherwise, this thing is completely assembled. The unit itself weighs just under 18 pounds, which is pretty convenient for the portability purposes. It's 18 inches long, 16 inches wide, and about 10 inches tall. That profile is important because you want to be able to sit at your desk with this underneath the desk, and just being 10 inches, it's actually pretty convenient. I've been messing with it right here at my desk. I noticed that underneath each of the foot pedals, there's like a little rollerblade wheel, which makes it really easy to glide on each motion as you go around. I do believe that, you know what, they engineered this really, really well. This device is supposed to be used only while you are seated, and they do say it has a maximum capacity of 390 pounds. There's a convenient handle built right into the unit, which makes it easy for transport and moving around. It's really stable right there. Also, there's a cubby where you can just store your remote control. On the bottom of the unit, all four corners, there's this like little rubber grip spot right here, but the directions actually tell us to use a non-slip mat. Now, it does not come with a non-slip mat, but it tells you to utilize this with a non-slip mat to avoid scratching your floor. We're going to start the test by first plugging in our elliptical. There are two different ways to control this elliptical. The first is with the on-screen display. You have your mode, direction, start, stop, speed, and data button. Let's go through the modes. There is, if you hit the mode button, P1, P2, and P3, those are the automatic settings, and you can go frontwards or backwards. Then if you click it again, there is the manual setting, and in the manual setting, there are 5 different levels that you can go through. If we start right here on P1 and we hit start, we're gonna notice that the pedals are actually gonna move backwards, okay? We click to P2, they're gonna stop moving backwards and they are gonna go forward. P3 also goes forward. So if we go to the mode where it's the manual, I can actually change the direction. So right now you can see that I was in the H section, so if I hit direction, I can actually make the pedals go backwards or I can go forward. And we already talked about how I can change the speed on those pedals. I think it's important to talk about the data points. If I just click data, I actually will cycle through the different settings that are already preset on here. So that's kind of neat. You can talk about your time, your distance, your speed. You can have the counter or even a calorie burn. Conveniently, all of those same features are also available on the remote control. So when I'm sitting at my desk, I can actually utilize this to change the speed or the mode or even to check the data. It's pretty neat. So tell me, what are your thoughts of the ANCHEER Under the Desk elliptical leg exerciser? Something you would utilize? Not so much? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. You may have noticed that I changed my shoes from the beginning of the video, and that's because the soles on the shoes were a little wider than the pedals right here on the elliptical machine. So just make sure as you're utilizing this, you have shoes that are narrow enough to fit right on the pedal. This upper part, which is supposed to receive your foot on the pedal, is just about 4¼ of an inch long. So your shoes have to be within that measurement in order to fit securely. If your shoe is any bigger, you're most likely going to overhang this top piece. We're going to test this out using the different settings. The first one we're going to use by hitting the mode button is P1. Let's hit start. Now remind you, this one is moving backwards. The machine is doing all the work and it's at a stable, consistent speed going backwards. I cannot adjust the speed. However, if I want to move to P2, it's going to stop and then move forward. As we said before, this is the automated version. I cannot adjust the speed or anything or even the direction. I'm just going along with the machine, similar to that of P3. Now let's switch over to the manual version. And right here, remember I said earlier that we have 5 different levels, and those are different speeds that I can go. I can either take this myself and pedal really, really fast, or I can have the machine do sort of like a pedal assist, help me along the way. I am getting benefit out of this, although it's not the same as if I'm like riding a bike, but it is some sort of exercise while I'm seated. If you're taking a look at the side, remember when I talked about the height of the machine was only 10 inches? Well, that's all you actually utilize. You never get any higher than that 10 inches, making it really, really convenient for fitting underneath a desk. There is some variability to fitting underneath a desk. Of course, it depends on the length of your legs, the height of your desk, so those are some things that should also be considered. I've utilized this under my desk. I've also used it next to a rocking chair or just a regular chair, and I found it very convenient both times. One thing I noticed that I wish was kind of different is the tilt of the screen. As you can see, well, it's counting up. I just can't see what it's doing. The bottom maybe quarter of whatever the numbers are completely cut off from my vantage point. It would be cool if that screen was pushed up a little higher or maybe even on an angle. Another thing, there's really no option to pause. In order for me to stop this, I actually have to click stop. And I guess that's okay, except when I go to restart again, my numbers restart. I would have loved it if I could have paused and kept my calorie burning or time or whatever, and then continued on. In this video, we were taking a look at the ANCHEER Under the Desk elliptical. So what did we think of it? First things first, let's talk about the price point. As per this video, it retailed for right around $160, which based on my research is sort of on the high end for these under the desk elliptical machines. In my opinion, this feels like it's really well built. Therefore, I didn't have an issue with the price tag on the unit. I love how quick and easy it was to set up and use right outside the box. It was 100% assembled. All I had to do was plug it in, read the directions, and I was on my way. For me, I was able to use it under a desk or sitting in a typical chair, so I did find it convenient. I was trying to think who would benefit from this. And sure, if you were at a sedentary job and you sat all the time and you just wanted to get your blood flowing while you're working, this really does the trick. I was also thinking older people might like this because they can sit around and watch their favorite TV shows and get some exercise at the same time. I know that I benefited from it. Anyway, that was my full review of the ANCHEER Under the Desk elliptical. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. I did make the mistake of running this elliptical leg exerciser on the ground without having a mat underneath, and look at all the scratches that it put into my floor. So that's something I definitely want to reiterate. Make sure you put a protective mat underneath. I did a quick run through of the Amazon reviews. It has over 2,000 reviews and a 4.5-star rating. Of those people that loved it, they just talk about all the benefits they get from it, improved circulation, just a little bit of exercise when they're sitting. Those people that didn't really like it involved mainly the unit arriving broken, or maybe not being the color choice that they wanted, or falling apart in a matter of weeks or months. And one person even said a year. So take all that with a grain of salt as you purchase your new under the table elliptical. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review of the ANCHEER Under the Desk elliptical leg exerciser. You know what's funny? While I was filming this video, I was watching some TV, and guess what? My Eureka E20 Plus was vacuuming my floor. That's something I reviewed not that long ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link that video right here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you right there at that review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe. I promise.